Hi everybody, glad to have you on my channel. If it's your first time, I would like to welcome you. Thanks for being here. If it's not your first time, I'm glad you're back. So, what we are talking about today is going to be how this person feels about this connection. How do they feel about you? What would they maybe say to other people about you? What are they talking about when they think about you? How are they feeling? All those kinds of things. If you haven't already, I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm for the channel and kind of gets movement so that this message can reach other people so that they can find that message as well. Yeah. Excuse me. So, we have 3 decks that we are using today. This first deck here, and I will name it below, but I'm forgetting the name. We have the Light Seer's Tarot. This lighting is very interesting today. I'm doing this almost sunsetty. And lastly, we have the Tarot de Marseilles. So take a breath, take a second. There's no rush. Definitely choose the group or the tarot deck that feels best connected to you. The timestamp will be in the description box down below. And yeah, hope to see you there. Bye. Hi, group 1. So, if you chose this first deck here, lovely, lovely deck. This is your reading. You have scrubbed to the right place. Welcome. So let's get into it. Maybe let's get a few cards about this connection. And then we'll get some cards on how they're feeling, maybe what they would say to other people about you, how they view this connection, how are they looking at it. Look at this connection. Let's get a look at this connection. Take this one. Let's get a few cards of what this connection looks like, Spirit. One last card for this connection and what it looks like. And then let's get some cards on what this person is feeling. How is this person feeling about this connection? So I'm already getting a feeling that things aren't exactly the best in this relationship at the moment. Maybe there's a disconnect of sorts. It doesn't have to be fully broken up, but maybe just not speaking at the moment. So with this current situation, you have the first card you have coming out is Balance, which is 11, which is also Justice. And I think this person really wants to be able to kind of create that space again where it feels like it's safe for both of you to give and take in the relationship and feel comfortable within each other's self kind of thing. I think that's a little bit difficult at the moment with the Ace of Air coming out, or the Ace of Swords. I think maybe there was some kind of miscommunication about what has been going on within this situation. Maybe even a lie. It feels kind of like a lie. Just a little fib, nothing serious, but it might have caused some bigger rifts. Or maybe this person didn't feel it was serious and it caused some waves within the relationship. They see this as a true wish fulfillment with the Ten of Cups coming out. They see this as something beautiful and something really worthwhile and long term, and something that has shown them happiness beyond what they knew it to be before. With the Five of Wands, again, there's this kind of fight that's happening. Now, I don't know if this is in this person's head or if this is between the both of you, but it feels like it's between both of you. Especially with the Ace of Air coming out in reverse as well. It feels like this small shift caused way bigger rifts than this other person planned. And now it feels like one person has kind of retreated. This feels like the other person has kind of retreated from this situation to kind of recuperate and kind of allow themselves the space to kind of reform what they think about this relationship. So you very well might not be talking. It feels very much like that. Yeah. So what are they saying about this connection and how are they feeling? They are feeling whatever waves this is of kind of that breakup or that maybe parting with Two of Cups coming out in reverse. They might even be telling people that, you know, the relationship has ended. And this could be something that's very intense for them. And it looks like it is in a lot of ways. You have Ancestor coming out, which is number 7 in this deck, which is also I'm forgetting which which tarot card that is, or that relates to. But with Ancestor coming out, they could be kind of in reverse. They could be kind of feeling really disconnected from their own spiritual practices and kind of their own, and I feel like spiritual practices as in like daily regimens or like kind of like taking care of themselves or those little simple tasks that kind of keep them in line and keep them on a straight path. It could even be that it has caused some rifts within their own family, just because of their own anger and not knowing how to deal with that and all those kinds of things. And I think in a lot of ways with the Ancestor coming out in reverse, I feel like they might be getting some downloads from Spirit, you know, but they're not really paying attention to them or taking the time to really concern themselves with what these messages mean or how to kind of navigate around it. You have healing here. And I think this person, I think both parties have kind of taken a step back to just kind of process what has happened within the situation. And I think they're feeling that this is a good time for them to kind of just disconnect from a lot of different things. And they might not be doing it in the best way, but I think their intentions are in the best place when they're trying to just undo kind of the mess they have made in this situation. Yeah, with offering coming up as well, it's like they're trying to give up these emotions and just let them be what they are and just allow themselves to kind of move through what they feel, you know, rather than kind of pushing it back or holding it back. They're allowing it to kind of create more space for things to be able to grow within their own psyche, and they're kind of understanding that all of it is really connected. That this whole kind of what this relationship has showed them is the connection of emotions and themselves and the way they deal with their emotions to literally every single part and piece of their life. With Two of Pentacles here in reverse, as well as Two of Cups in reverse, they're really unsure about how things are going to go or how things are going to blow over, and they might even be telling people that. And I think there's a big fear here of things not working out. They're really unsure of how to kind of stop that overthinking process, I would think. Definitely with this Page of Cups coming out in reverse, I think maybe they have tried to make a movement in a way towards you, and that didn't go very well. And I think that has again made them scared to kind of make any movement towards you now. With the Five of Pentacles coming out in reverse too, they're definitely feeling left out within all of this and not really sure how you're feeling, or they're also just feeling very alone. And I think that's something that they could be talking about as well, just feeling that loneliness of not having you around, you know? I hope I'm making sense. It doesn't feel like it, but... let's get this Ace of Swords. Yeah, this could have been bigger than just a little lie. This could have really been a cheating situation just because of the depiction that's coming up with this deck. So there's these this mother owl hovering over some baby owls, trying to cover them from the rain, and then there's this other owl, I'm guessing the father owl, kind of sitting away from everything that's happening and looking out into the distance. So this could very well be a cheating situation, or something where this person really disconnected from the relationship. You could even have kids. This person really disconnected from the relationship, and it left things a mess for everybody involved, you know? I think now they're kind of they're being almost forced by spirit to kind of take a step back because of this situation. And they feel like you have had to do the same, but they feel like they have really had to really take a look and see this kind of like almost from a bird's eye view of what this connection truly means to them, and with that Ten of Cups coming out too, how much this relationship has really changed them for the better in a lot of ways. Yeah. You could literally be a great mother, but the great mother is coming out. And again, we have it's an owl for sure. We have an owl coming out, but it is on top, and it is kind of looking over everything that's happening within this card. And I think this person really thinks that you were able to bring a lot of nourishing and flourishing as well into their life, and they've really had to allow themselves to see the whole of the situation rather than just viewing what is happening right in front of them. I think they definitely see this relationship as something that has been super fulfilling for them. Yeah, I feel like they have felt this was something that was that really completely changed the trajectory of their life, you know? Two of Wands coming out. I think they see you in kind of this drawn aback kind of mode and want to make a decision, but they are hesitant. And they know they could make decisions in other spaces or move into another direction, but I also don't think that's something they want to do. Yeah. Let's clarify ancestor, please. So you have initiation coming out, which is also 2, which is the High Priestess. And it feels like in a lot of ways, this person is having trouble kind of starting up again. And I think they realized they had to get through the beginning steps and learn a certain amount. And now it's kind of come to the bigger commitment of what this connection means. And I think that's where they kind of had to back out within all of this. And I think that's what's causing them all this fear. And the fear of possibly even losing this relationship as well. Let's get, what kind of healing are they doing? So we have Witch of Fire coming out in reverse. Definitely feels like it definitely feels like this person is kind of again, there's just this fear of not being able to make a move or not wanting to make a move because of any repercussions that might happen because of it. And the fear that it just wouldn't be taken well in the first place. And I think for them, their biggest concern right now, rather than making any kind of movement, is trying to allow themselves to have a plan in place and also just kind of get some healing done around what this is and what this feels like for them. They're really not wanting to let this go with the Four of Pentacles coming out. Even though it's constantly being tossed around whether or not it's something they should stay with, they don't want to. And that's definitely something that they're telling people, that they don't want this to end. They don't want this to, they kind of can't see themselves moving in any other direction, to be quite frank. With Eight of Wands coming out, they might, make that move over time. This doesn't necessarily feel as quick as most of my other Eight of Wands. I think the want to do it is there, and it doesn't necessarily mean they will take that chance, though. Yeah, four of Wands coming out in reverse. There's this huge fear that they lost, like, the one, especially with the Two of Cups coming out as well. There's a Great Mother as well, too. I think they feel... I really think they feel the repercussions of their actions, and yeah, I think it's been very difficult for them to kind of be able to settle into what this feels like now, so let's get some oracle cards. What has this person been telling people? What has this person been saying? We'll grab that. Okay, so you got yes, it is too late, and it came out in reverse, which makes me feel like in a lot of ways they don't think that it is too late, But there is, again, that fear in the back of their head that it could be. In the middle we have, I hope you're happy. And this could be very well something that they're telling other people, that they hope that, you know, whatever you're doing or wherever you are, that you are happy. And I think they truly believe that. I think they truly want you to be happy within this situation. I know sometimes that can feel like a kind of a jab almost, but I do feel like they genuinely would like you to be happy with whatever is going on in your life. You know, I think they didn't want any of this mess to happen. And again, with balance coming out, I think they really wanted this to be able to kind of fare itself out. We are more alike than I admit, and I think that's why this fear comes for them, and that's why this fear comes up with this relationship, just because it's such a reflection of who they are as well. I never used to look at you that way. So this very well could also be something that hasn't started. I feel like this is very specific right here. This could have very well been something that just never really took off in the first place. But then kind of they made it a mess just because they never realized what their true feelings were, and now they kind of are. I'll take this one. Too many. So, Spirit, let's be clear and let's get a couple more oracle cards here for my lovely group one. So if you are watching this video when it's coming out, we are kind of in the middle of winter. And this card says, wait for winter. During the colder months, the fairy queen of winter will help you manifest your most heartfelt wishes as long as your intentions are for the highest good of all. So this person could be kind of making a move towards you or trying to manifest you within the winter months. And they feel as though this is kind of that best time to do that for them. I think they're kind of getting that calling. Inner child, the fairies of playfulness remind you to make time to embrace your inner child. Playing keeps us young at heart. Do something silly and fun, but stay safe. I think that's also a huge reminder for both parties, really. But also I think this healing time has been a healing for them of their own inner child and that connection, and maybe connections to maybe not the best marriage with their parents or something like that, and that kind of coming up within this relationship as well. And so, like they said, allow yourself to have the playfulness within the situation and without, you know, like outside of the situation. Divination, embrace your powers of divination, which are especially strong right now. You have the ability to see your current situation with crystal clear clarity. I think that's why this Eight of Wands is coming out. They know exactly what they want, and they know what it would look like, and they know all of these things, but they're having trouble actually putting it into movement and into practice as well. Okay, group one, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you like and subscribe and all those beautiful things, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hi everybody. So if you chose the Light Seers Tarot deck, this is your reading. You have scrubbed to the right place. Welcome. So let's get into it. First, let's get a couple of cards about what this connection looks like. And then we will get a few cards about how they're feeling, what they're telling people, how they look at this connection, what this connection looks like in their eyes. A couple more cards, please. few more cards about what they are telling people, how they look at this connection, all those kinds of lovely things, what they see in this connection, what do they see? Okay, in a lot of ways, I feel like they think this connection was very divinely orchestrated. I think they've kind of, either you or someone else has kind of had to put up a block. And this could be a literal blocking on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. But somebody in this situation has had to put up their defenses. And I think rightfully so as well. I don't necessarily see a lot of the times a problem with putting up those boundaries. I just think it is difficult for this person to deal with. You have the Hierophant coming out in reverse. This connection definitely could have gotten very far, and I don't think it did. Or maybe it was supposed to get to like some kind of higher commitment. I'm definitely seeing possibly even marriage. That's definitely a big feeling I'm getting here. That was my first thought when that card came out, that this was something that was supposed to end or feel like it was supposed to end in marriage, and it did not. And then with this Knight of Cups, it's like they're wanting to make this move. Wanting to make this move towards you. It might be a little bit, disarrayed or not in the best, not done in the best way, but it's more about the intention here, I think, or that's actually what I'm getting, rather. I think they're wanting to make this romantic gesture towards you, but it's been proving difficult for them. Or maybe they have. I don't know. 10 of Cups coming out in reverse. It just feels like something switched. With the Hierophant as well. Both in reverse. It kind of just feels like everything was going fine and actually really well. And then all of a sudden everything just kind of like flipped. Things might have ended. You might not be talking at the moment. And with 10 of Pentacles too, this person really saw a future or saw something being able to really come out of this relationship, and I just don't think that's been happening. Okay, so how are they viewing this relationship? With 6 of Cups, it's definitely a really deep soulmate connection, and it feels like something where they felt like they knew you, or they maybe even have known you for a very long time, but it feels like they knew you, you know? And it feels like a really beautiful connection in a lot of ways, and it's something that makes them very happy and maybe even brings out kind of that inner child feeling. And I think it's been really difficult for them to kind of disconnect from this. With Judgment coming out, it definitely feels like... excuse me. With Judgment coming out, it definitely feels like they're kind of understanding why this couldn't work or why this couldn't happen. At least not in the moment. And they're kind of allowing themselves to be okay with that sentiment and what that how that is kind of playing out for them. I think in a lot of ways they are hearing a higher calling towards this relationship, but they know maybe right now might not be the best time to make that kind of move. With 3 of Wands, they know that the opportunities and the blessings for this relationship to come to fruition, they see it happening, you know what I mean? They know that this can work out, but They have to be patient, and they understand that. They're wanting to take a deep dive back into this, you know. This could have even been something where this relationship they kind of went in head first, maybe, and that didn't necessarily work out too well. That might have been the fault of it. But they're wanting to, I think more so, they're wanting to kind of just allow themselves to dive right back into it and maybe even start with a fresh slate between the both of you, you know. Two of Pentacles, they're really sure of what to, because they know they have to wait, they're currently unsure of what to invest into, and what to kind of do within all of this. It feels like a big toss-up of, you know, do I spend my time focusing on my work? Do I spend my time focusing on my friends, on my family, on these other things? And it feels like it's difficult because they just want to be able to focus on you instead. With the Hanged One, they've had to try to really, I think this relationship really changed their perspective on a lot of things, and they kind of have to continue to switch that narrative. But this connection not being together is such a burden on them with this Ten of Wands, and it's really something that's weighing down on them. Let's get some clarification. So for the Hierophant, please. Yeah, with the Moon in reverse, again, this talks about like not a lot of connection, like speaking wise, like a distance between the both of you. But this also talks about them kind of really burying down all of those subconscious feelings rather than allowing themselves to really take those moments to reflect on them. And I think it's difficult for them to be able to even reflect on this relationship because there's a lot of pain involved. Let's get to the Ten of Cups, please. Yeah, you have the Knight of Swords coming out, and then you also have, where did you go? There you are. You also have the Magician. This person is really trying to manifest this beautiful connection again, and kind of manifest themselves to a place where they can feel that joy and that happiness that this connection brought. And they are ready to kind of make that, with the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Swords, they're really allowing themselves to get ready to make that move. Page of Cups, again with the Fool too, I feel like they're having to kind of restart this whole connection and restart their basis of trust with you and kind of start things all the way over again. Like I said, a new slate with you, I think, would be the best option for them here. Six of Cups. Page of Pentacles. There's a lot of really trying to invest into this again. There's a lot of trying to invest into this again, even though it's kind of a shot in the dark. It feels like a shot in the dark for them, and they're really unsure of whether they should, but they really want to. With the Four of Swords coming out on top of Judgment, I feel like this relationship has brought a lot of clarity, but it also has allowed them to kind of take time to take those steps back to reflect on how to make the next move. And this relationship ending is kind of what brought about all these revelations and has allowed them the time to kind of, again, reflect about things that went down here and how they could do things differently between the both of you. Nine of Wands, they're they're kind of scared of like more of the same happening, and it feels like they've lost a lot of endurance I know they can push through, but they're kind of questioning if they can. That's what it feels like. Let's get a card for the Fool, please. Nine of Swords. They're really wanting to jump in, but their brain is just kind of getting in the way, and there's all this anxiety around whether or not they will be taken properly. I want to get one for the Hangman. Yeah, this relationship is definitely not over. You have the World coming out. There's definitely ties that need to be closed, even if that's just where it is. There's things that need to be closed off between the both of you, and that's how they're seeing this. They're seeing it in a way of wanting to be able to at least kind of find closure between what happened to the both of you. But I don't think that's the full extent of their intention here. 10 of Wands, please. Queen of Swords. I feel like they're scared that you will kind of be very disconnected, and just I think they also just know that if they don't come correct, and if they don't come in the right headspace, that you will notice that very quickly, and that you will just very quickly again kind of shut things off. And I think that weighs a big burden on their heart as well. And I think just not even having this relationship weighs a huge burden on their heart. And I think with these Knights coming out and these Pages coming out, it's kind of like they understand that you are at this completely different space. And that they really have to level themselves up before they are able to come and get this relationship off the ground again. So, we'll get some oracle cards. Yeah, they could definitely be telling people that they don't care. I think they just don't want people kind of butting into their business, or giving them an opinion about this situation. And I think the only way that they can not have all this anxiety all the time about it is just to kind of push it away, or they think that's what works. And again, it's kind of coming out on top of the moon in reverse. I think they haven't really wanted to take the time to self-reflect, even though they've kind of had to with the Four of Swords coming out. I think it's just they feel like it's the best way out, even though it probably is not. I feel like this is something that you said, I love myself enough to walk away. And that's very Queen of Swords energy, just understanding that nothing can come from this relationship anymore, and taking up and leaving. Again, that Seven of Wands that came out. Someone here was laying boundaries, and I don't think that ended very well for this other person. I couldn't tell you face to face. So maybe this person has only been telling you things over text message, or maybe over a phone call, or it couldn't even be FaceTime. It doesn't feel like it could even be FaceTime. And I think, Queen of Swords, Seven of Wands, I feel like this person understands that you have really big boundaries within this situation, and that you just hold your boundaries very well. And that's something that kind of scares them. Let's get a couple more cards. I will take these two. Look in a book. Whatever your question right now, you'll find the answer in a book. The words you find will bring the insight you seek. I think this person is kind of, again, that Four of Swords, seeking kind of, and also the Hierophant coming out even, kind of seeking those answers, and understanding that a higher education of their own emotional self is what will bring kind of enlightenment to this situation. I think also it's been a good escape for both parties to kind of just check out into something that's not their phone. um, and I think it's also just a good practice as well to, you know, if you feel a lot of anxiety over a situation or just thinking a little bit too much about something, then definitely pick up a book and it will kind of take you to a different space. Um, Divination. Embrace your powers of divination, which are especially strong right now. You have the ability to see your current situation with crystal clear clarity. I think that's the problem here for this person. They know, they feel like they know exactly how you would interact if they tried to come back or make any kind of move. And I think that's what causes them a lot of fear. Um, I think that's really what scares them within this situation. Um, Motivation. When spring approaches, the flower fairies urge you to spring into action. If there's something you've been merely thinking about doing, they say get busy and do it. So this person, especially when it says when spring approaches, so possibly this person might not come back until the springtime for you. Um, if you're watching this video now, which is when we're recording is in the winter or midwinter-ish. It's Texas, so it's not really winter here. Um, uh, yeah, I think this person is kind of building up that motivation and building up that drive to be able to get things moving within the both of you. So if you wanted maybe a timeline of when this person might come back, then I would say possibly spring. Um, okay, group 2, I hope this was helpful. If you want to like and subscribe and all of those beautiful things, I would love it if you did. And if you don't, that's also fine. Okay, have a good one. Bye. Hi, group 3. So, let's get to it. Today we are looking at the Tarot de Marseilles. If this is your deck, you've scrubbed to the right place. So, let's get a couple of cards on what this person is feeling about the situation, how they look at this relationship, what they may be saying to other people, and all those lovely, lovely things. So first, a couple of cards about the situation. And then let's get a couple of cards about how they feel about this relationship, how they feel about this connection, what they've been saying to people. Okay. Yay. So, the Queen of Swords coming up in reverse. It feels like you very well could not be talking to this person. This could be your own doing. I feel like in a lot of ways, maybe, maybe this person might be coming off as cold at the moment or a little bit disconnected from the situation. I know with the moon coming out in reverse, they're deciding not to reflect on what has gone on between the both of you. I feel like, again, the moon kind of talks about the lack of communication between the both of you. And kind of this person pushing a lot of those subconscious feelings down rather than allowing themselves to really feel what this relationship is and what it has to offer and all of those beautiful things, even if some of those reflections are difficult for them. With the Knight of Swords, though, it feels like they want to kind of come back in, possibly. If they're not in the picture at the moment, it feels like they kind of want to make those moves again towards you, but I don't know if that is something that feels feasible at the moment. And with the Queen of Swords coming out as well, it feels like someone is not on the same playing field as the other person, or feels like they're not enough. I feel like that's a big feeling here. Ten of Swords in reverse. It feels like this connection has seen a lot of trouble in the past, and I feel like they're kind of lifting that burden and allowing themselves to kind of let those wounds really heal and kind of let go of their ideas of what the relationship is and was and what it holds and what the future for it holds as well. With the Fool coming in, again, there's this feeling of them wanting to kind of really deep dive back into this relationship. This could even be, honestly, it feels like past connections have been really difficult for this person, but it feels like this connection is something that they kind of want to be able to move into very quickly. With the Hanged One coming in and the Hanged One coming out as well. Really, it speaks to me about them kind of shifting their perspective on relationships in general. And I think maybe that's something that you've been able to do for this person. Yeah, I think this makes more sense. I feel like a lot of relationships have gotten really rocky and really not the best communication, and kind of just a lot of disconnection from these past relationships, and then this one has kind of been that breath of fresh air for them. With the Emperor coming out, it's kind of like they're, and the Hierophant as well, they're kind of wanting to make this connection stable and sturdy, and they are feeling the stability that you possibly bring to this situation. And I think also sometimes it's a little bit difficult for them to think outside of the box of how to get into this relationship. And I think that's something that they could be telling people. Because I think maybe they don't want to just come in and come in just like anybody else. You know what I mean? I think they want to be able to offer something good. You have the Page of Pentacles coming out. They feel like they don't maybe necessarily have enough to offer monetarily. But they know they can sow those seeds, and that they are very well versed in a lot of other things as well. Seven of Wands coming out. It definitely feels like someone is guarded in this relationship. And it could be you. I'm getting a feeling that it is you, because there's also the Queen of Swords in reverse, and this talks about being a little bit too on guard. And maybe these are also past relationships that you have been in that have been a lot of trouble for you, and a lot of maybe not the best situations with a lot of people. And I think that's something to kind of take account within this relationship. And I think this is something that this person notices and maybe talks about with other people, like how to kind of get these boundaries down so that you can realize that they don't have the same intent as other people, or kind of will be able to treat you differently. I do think this person has options. I'm going to be honest with you, with the Seven of Cups coming out. I don't think you're the only one in the picture, but I don't think anybody else, like, the way this is depicted is like, there's 7 of these cups, right? And there's 6 on top and 6 on the bottom, but there's 1 cup right in the middle, you know? So it feels like out of all of the options, you are the one, but it doesn't mean that everything is closed off. And I don't think it's wrong for people to have options, and I think people are very weary of that kind of feeling, but we live in a society that is very much, you know, swipe and find other people and all this instant gratification of relationships and stuff like that. So I don't necessarily find somebody having themselves be open and available, especially if someone is being very closed off to allowing this relationship to start off. I don't think it's wrong of them to have those options, and I don't necessarily see that as a problem. Do I think they think you are the best option? Of course, because there's this cup right in the middle. It feels very poignant. And then there's the Hierophant right next to it. They're wanting this relationship to go further, but they're unsure about how you're feeling within all of this and whether you're ready to move into something that feels more serious. 5 of Pentacles, they kind of feel out in the cold. Again, there's all these feelings of like really strong boundaries on the other end, and this person just kind of wanting to be able to move in. And then you also have the Knight of Wands as well. You know, I think this person really wants to make those big valiant moves, but again is kind of afraid in a lot of ways just because there's so many boundaries here. Let's get some clarification for the Queen of Swords. So you have the 3 of Swords in reverse. So whoever this Queen of Swords is, this person is really trying to take the time to heal themselves within a past relationship. And with the 9 of Cups in reverse as well, it kind of feels like this person hasn't made all the progress that they would like to, and they don't feel as ready for this relationship to start. You know what I mean? Or they don't feel as ready for this their own personal growth, so that they could get this relationship going off the ground. I feel like this is for the person I'm reading for, to be quite honest. Page of Swords coming out. I think there's a lot of truths kind of coming to surface, or they're wanting to come to surface, but with the Moon in reverse, it's kind of difficult for this person to be able to reflect. So I think it's kind of like that back and forth of finding that almost like intellectual stability within all of this, rather than like actually feeling what is happening, and also kind of rewriting lies about themselves. I think that's the perfect explanation for that. 10 of Pentacles on top of the 10 of Swords. I think someone is really shedding a lot of stuff still, and processing a lot of stuff still, but I know that they can see a long term within all of this, you know, and they could see something that could last a really, really long time. Let's get the Hanged One. Ooh. Yeah, when I was shuffling this deck, the cards were flying kind of everywhere. I think this person is really trying to get a fresh journey out of all of this. With the Page of Wands, and then also the the Ace of Swords also coming out. It really feels like this person is really starting to get those movements and trying to get all of these things in order to make the proper move towards this other person. I think with the world coming out, I think this person kind of understands that you have some things that need to be finished and closed off. There are parts and pieces here that need to be closed off from past relationships and past situations so that you can be able to truly give to this relationship. Five of Swords in reverse on top of the Page of Pentacles. It feels like they know that you have been through, honestly, a lot. A very difficult relationship. It could have even been cheating. I don't mean to laugh, but you know, sometimes laughs just come out. It could have even been like a cheating type of situation, but also just some kind of situation where it felt like there was too much investment into something else. And this relationship, this like past relationship, was not able to work out because of that. And I think this person kind of realizes the selfishness of the past situation and wants to be able to kind of create something really fresh here and really new here. Let's get the Seven of Wands, please. The Lovers. Again, choices, especially with the Seven of Cups coming out as well. But I think there is really a big choice here for who is ever kind of keeping up the boundaries here, is whether or not to allow themselves to feel something new or to continue to focus on what has happened to them in the past, you know. I think with the Star coming out in reverse and also Judgment coming out in reverse, I think it has been very unnerving in a lot of ways for I feel like it has been unnerving in a lot of ways for this person to really be able to open up to this situation and really allow themselves to hear what their higher self has to say about this. Because, again, they're kind of keeping their options open because they're unsure of how this other person feels. And I think it's really still hard for them to be extremely and completely vulnerable and even believe that this can happen because of the way that this other person has kind of set up these really big walls, you know. I think it's been really difficult for this person to really do a lot within this relationship just because it's they're not sure how you're feeling, honestly. They're really not sure how you're feeling, and that's the exact feeling that I'm getting here. They don't know whether or not you actually want this or not. They're not seeing a lot of movement within this connection right now. You know, they're looking at it and they're like, I don't know if they... And I feel like they're definitely telling this to people, like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how they feel about me or how I feel about this situation because of how they feel about it, you know. Three of Cups, they're just kind of wanting things to work out, especially since they feel so out of the cold. They just want to be able to have a drink with you. You know, they just want to be able to go out and have a drink and enjoy each other's presence, you know, and not think about all these things that have happened before. I think that's good. Okay, so let's get a couple of other cards from the In the Shadows. What is this person saying to people? What is this person saying to people? I feel like this is very specific, but leaving you hurt me too. And I think You know, if someone left within this relationship, I think it could be my Queen of Swords in reverse here that is the one that kind of maybe left this relationship. Um, I think it's kind of you realizing like, yes, this connection does mean a lot to me and it does hurt me to have to walk away from it. I hope I will see you again sometime. So maybe you aren't in any kind of connection right now or talking right now. It says, I hope I will see you again sometime, and then I am not coming back. So it's like, I feel like these are both different voices talking, you know what I mean? And I think my person with my really high boundaries, even though they can tell in their heart they want this to kind of come up or allow themselves to come back to this relationship, they're not going to, or they feel like they're not going to at this moment. Remember, energy always changes. And then this other person is just really hoping to see you again. Again, that Three of Cups. They just want to hang out and have a good time, no matter what has happened in the past, either between the both of you or outside of this relationship. In that moment, I did not care. I feel like my Queen of Swords in reverse is chatting it up in this, and really is saying a lot within this reading, even though this reading feels like it's technically, like I feel like I'm reading for the Queen of Swords, you know what I mean? In that moment, I did not care. And I think it was very easy for my Queen of Swords in reverse to kind of just cut this off and not worry about the repercussions or how they felt or how they actually felt, because they just thought it'd be fine and that they would be fine, but obviously it's showing up that they are not, and that they want this to kind of work out, and they can see a long-term happening with this, and they, you know, have a lot of feelings for this person. So from this last deck, let's get one more. So first card we have is Light. The fairy Queen of Light comes to shed love and light onto your current situation. And I think that is kind of something that this Queen of Swords needs. I think there's been a lot of dark times and a lot of harsh relationships. Even this relationship could have gone awry. I don't feel like this relationship went super... I don't feel like this relationship took an L in that kind of way. But I feel like in a lot of ways, there just hasn't been a lot of compassion showed to this Queen of Swords for a very long time, and a lot of love and kindness, and I think that's something that scares this person. Fairy spotting. It's time to go fairy spotting. It said that seeing is believing, but in fact the opposite is true. Believing is seeing. Very interesting. I think if my Queen of Swords allows the situation to be a relationship that they believe in and they can put their trust in, that they can see it actually come to fruition. But they have to put that trust in the fact that you know, this person is not here to just hurt them or just to play them or all those kinds of things. Believe in magic. Again, we have two things about believing. So there's a need here to kind of believe that this relationship can work on both ends, you know. Open your eyes and see the magic that's all around in nature. The fairy of the northern lights says you are part of nature, so you are magical too. You hold the capability to be able to make this relationship come into fruition, and you are the only one who can make that truly happen. So you have to see it to believe it. You have to believe it so that you can see it. Okay, group 3. I hope this is helpful. If you want to like and subscribe, all those beautiful things, I would love it if you did. And if you don't, that's okay too. I hope you have a good one. Bye.